everybody, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ellen and this is Little Houseplant Life. So in today's video I'm going to be going through some planty updates for you really. So I thought I'd start the new year by going through my plant collection, kind of showing you how things are doing really. Some plants have got a few issues going on, so I thought it'd be quite good to sort of talk through those. And you know, with the winter settling in, it can cause some plants to struggle. I've got, a few bits that I'm going to be doing. So I just thought I'd basically just go around and just talk to you about a few plants really. Is kind of the aim for today. A little bit of a planty update, and then moving on to next week, I think I'm going to look at doing a wish list plant video next week, if you want to tune in for that as well. But yeah, let's get into it. Right, so this is my living room at the moment. As you can tell, it's looking a little bit bare over here because that was where my Christmas tree was. And I've now just taken that down. So I'm going to be getting like another chair to put in and then sort of moving some plants and stuff around. So I'm still moving things around as always. But yeah, so I guess let's start over this way. So yeah, it's doing okay. It's had a little bit of a few issues going on. This plant here has been getting a few yellowing leaves. I've just watered it again, but I think I might look at moving it because this is my marble queen pothos, sorry. I'm thinking about moving it because, I think a couple of the yellowing leaves are because of the heat down here. I've had to water it a lot more than I normally would, and I think it's because the radiator's right below it. So I am going to move that one, I think, and maybe try something else there, but I'm not sure what. Then you've got my Brazil up here is actually doing quite well. However, it does look a bit sad at the moment, but that's purely just because it's needs water, so there's nothing major going on there. However, the new ones, although they're coming out small, they're not doing too badly. In all fairness, as long as they just kind of survive the winter is kind of what we're going for at the moment, and then we can look at sort of going from there really. You've then got my Variegated up here, which is actually doing quite well. Sorry, that light seems to be, that's better. It's actually doing really well up here. As you can see, it's got loads of like stems coming off it, which is doing really well, so that's great. Recently had a water and doing really well here. Just this one, which I think might need to move due to the light situation. And then coming down here, we've got this guy. So this is my Crinkle 8, and he, once again, you probably are going to guess what I'm going to say because he's had it 10 million times. But once again, this guy has mealybugs. So that's why you've got a lot of the yellowing leaves here. I mean, some of these leaves are this colour because they got bleached where I had them too close to the grow light. And that's why I've now put it in the window, which has been here for quite a while now. And as you can see, the new growth that's coming through is nice and green and is getting a lot better. However, it did have a really bad mealybug situation again, which if you haven't seen my other videos, it has had like 10 times now. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of that white down there is actually from the soil. It's not mealybugs, just to warn you. But yeah, I can't actually see any at the moment, which is great. It has just gone through a big treatment, so hopefully you shouldn't be able to see any. But yeah, it isn't looking the best. Since I've taken my Christmas decorations out, this window just looks so bare. Right, so we're then coming on to, sorry, I'm just trying to avoid the rabbits with my feet. They're sleeping under the chair. The cotton buds and cup are here because I've been using them to do my treatments on my mealybugs. So for those of you that haven't seen my mealybug video, if you go and check that out, that will explain why I'm using them. But yeah, so this guy is my variegated monstera. He put out, oh, for goodness sake, sorry, the rabbit just scratched my foot and made me jump out my skin. He basically wants me to move, but I'll just be a moment. So this is the oldest leaf here. And then, yeah, for those of you that probably seen my video, I've seen these few leaves. So that little one was the first one out, then this one, and now this one. Now, it is going quite brown on the edge here, and I don't know why. I think I may have overwatered it a little while ago because I thought, I need to throw this away, but basically I had this moisture meter in there, which was still red, and I thought I'm going to take that out to remind me to throw it in the bin. Which I thought meant that it was needed watering. However, it turns out, because they're meant to be single use, but you can get a couple of uses out of them, and it basically stopped working because the ink had gone, so it was wet down below, and I didn't know. So I just chucked some water in it because I was quickly whipping around doing water, and yeah, that happened. The only other possibility is that it could be from cold. Or from the heater, so I'm not really sure, so I'm going to sort of let it have a little bit more time. It does have a new leaf coming out here. I don't know if you can see that. Try and zoom in on it. Yeah, it does have a new leaf coming out here, so it can't be that sad, and I'm actually really excited for that to come out because it looks quite white, but I am getting quite scared at the variegation on this plant. Sorry, there's focus around here, it's crazy. Yeah, I am getting a little bit nervous that the variegation on this plant is getting very white. As you can see, most of this leaf here was white with just a little bit of green. And it is obviously the white that always goes brown first. But yeah, so that is a bit concerning. And this coming out, sorry, I'm trying to zoom in and it's not wanting to focus. As you can see, the whole top of that section there is now wanting to focus on my finger. Is coming out quite white. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued to kind of see. I mean, it looked sort of speckled variegation coming up, but it's so hard to tell. But yeah, I do think it's going to be quite white, which is good. I mean, don't get me wrong. This leaf here is absolutely beautiful, but yeah, I definitely need to stay away from some of that white a little bit. Then coming round, sorry, I don't want to turn this into kind of a tour, but it's kind of just going around and giving you some planty updates, really. So I've just recently moved, if I just come back a bit, these plants here into the corner. So this monstera lived upstairs, which, you know, wasn't ideal for it. Sorry, that's better. That looked really washed out and horrible before. Yes, that looks a lot better. The monstera does actually need a water. As you can see, some of the leaves starting to droop. And so does this guy here, although he's not actually looking too bad. My calathea. But yeah, so he lived upstairs in the corner of my bedroom and he wasn't doing very well. It was just quite dark for him. And I don't know if you can, let's try and get in and see. Sorry, you're not going to be able to see a lot of the plant here because it's, but there were a couple of dark spots, brown splodges coming up here. Another one here. So yeah, he wasn't in an ideal shape. So I am still trying to keep an eye on him because I'm not 100% sure how he's sort of getting on. But I can say that I have got new growth coming through. So it's a brand new leaf coming through here, which is really exciting. I have actually been looking at swapping this one out for a, oh, 2 leaves coming out. I didn't see that one before. How cool is that? So I've got 2 leaves literally coming out side by side. So they're probably going to go up and fill a bit more of this space. So, which is very exciting because the higher this gets, the cooler it looks. So if I just come back and show you. So yeah, that'd be really cool if that sort of does grow up a little bit more there. But yeah, beaut, that's well exciting. But yes, I have been thinking about swapping this one out for a monstera deliciosa, but a wide form, so that you get like the fenestrations and stuff as well. Because as much as I love this, when I first got this plant, I didn't know a whole lot about plants, and I didn't realize that this doesn't do that. And that's what I love about the monstera leaf, is all the fenestrations with like the little holes and everything in the middle as well. So although, for those of you that don't know, although these have got the monstera shaped leaves and they have the slits at the sides, it's very unlikely to ever get the little hold fenestrations that go in here. This also also needs a dust, which is quite dusty, but it actually had a shower not too long ago, so clearly I've got a dusty living room. But yeah, so that's the difference anyway. So I am thinking about swapping that out. I saw a really beautiful one the other day, but it was £100, so probably not going to happen just yet. Just a little selection of bits and bobs up there, a little bit of a propagation, but I don't know how that's going to do up there because obviously it's right by my grow light. Now, am I going to be able to get this to stop flashing? Just right. If I hold it here, I might be able to stop it flashing for a bit, but I might have to turn my grow light off if not. So I've got my grow light on. Obviously grow lights are quite important this time of year, especially for me in this house, against these back walls. So this is obviously opposite the window, the other side of my living room, so it can get quite dark over here. However, this is the best grow light I've ever had from grocery stores. Absolutely love it. I am actually looking at investing in another one for upstairs in my bedroom. But yeah, absolutely love it. It's perfect for this kind of space, really. And I guess the first thing to start with on here is once again mealybugs. So mealybugs seem to love Hoya. If you guys find that your Hoya just really easily get infested with mealybugs, let me know. Mine, the only plants that ever seem to get mealybugs for me in my house are Hoya, and I don't understand it. But basically this has got them at the moment and needs treating. This has, my queen has had them and has just been treated. Sorry, started doing that thing again. And then my retusa at the back here is the only thing that hasn't had them. My princess down the bottom here has also had them and just been through treatment. Both of these I think are now completely free of them. I know that I shouldn't really have this here when it's got mealybugs, but as you can see, there's nothing near it. And I've actually only noticed them today. So I am going to be getting rid of that and getting them sorted. But yeah, so at the moment, well, not ideal. They are the 4 plants that are dealing with mealybugs. There aren't any more as far as I'm aware. But I am kind of going through my plants at the moment, giving them a clean and just trying to get everything checked over because mealybugs really suck, basically. I've got a couple of bits here that aren't doing amazing. So a couple of like little pottings that I've done, which basically I just let this dry out. And that's why that's looking crap. This one's looking a lot better. It was actually quite, that needs to come down a bit actually. I think that's a bit dark up there for it. It was actually, I did take these cuttings when they were quite small. But yeah, they just kind of stayed small. So I'm hoping that some of the growth that's going to come out might start getting a bit bigger with the light. But I don't know. It's probably not ideal. I could probably do with putting it on a pole or something really if I want to get bigger leaves. This cutting here is doing quite well. But once again, it's quite small. I don't want to move it any closer to the light in terms of shelving because I don't want it to get... Maybe I'll swap those around because that one looks like it needs to get away from the light a little bit more. This guy hasn't been doing very well. I actually had this on the second shelf, which isn't great. Because it was really close. Look, those are just completely dead and pulling out. But that's fine. I think that's all of them now. Oh no, another one there. But yeah, he's also, I don't know if you can tell, but he's also really dusty and just needs a really good clean. So that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. After we had the floors done, I didn't really appreciate the fact that it was really dusty in here from where we had the floors done. And it's just taking me ages to get around and sort them out, to be honest. End of December wasn't such a great time through December for me to just crack on and get stuff done. I was super busy at work. So, yeah, kind of ended up getting distracted by a lot of work stuff and not really dealing with a lot of my plant stuff. So that's a shame. But I will say, although this queen has had mealybugs, I absolutely adore it. It's just so beautiful at the moment. It's got some beautiful white variegation on it. Another, probably my favourite leaf actually, is this one just here. Sorry, that's too close to actually focus. But yeah, absolutely stunning. Just really, really love that at the moment. So that's one of my faves. String of Hearts, not doing great. It was up on my shelves to my left, my hexagon shelves, and I've moved it over here because I know this with String of Hearts, but for some reason I do it every time, is that with String of Hearts, they really need to get sunlight from the top, really. That's kind of how they how they thrive, I guess. So if you're having problems with your string of hearts, try moving them into a light situation where the light can actually see the soil, is what I've always said. And for some reason, I haven't followed my own advice. But the bottom down here is doing marvellously. And what I will probably do is I will probably cut this back around here and repot it all in so that it just grows over, is kind of my plan. This guy here, as long as the grow light's left on and I don't leave it off for too many days, because sometimes I forget to turn it on. It's not currently on a timer, which is maybe something I should get sorted. But yeah, other than that, he's doing quite well. I guess then the next thing to talk to you about is over here. So, string of turtles, not doing great at all. It was on my shelving unit over there. And that's where I think it sort of fell into this problem. I think it was getting too much light. And it's just got all of these dead leaves. And they're not doing great. I will just show you this down. It's currently pulled up because I need to trim it off because it's too long and the rabbits can get to it. So that needs a trim basically. But yeah, it's sat up here. When it's pulled forward and it's actually down properly, it looks really beautiful. The growth coming through is very small, but I'm hoping it's going to get bigger. I mean, some of this up here was even smaller, like the stuff at the side was even smaller than this when I first started growing, like down here. And it has started getting bigger. And I do find with string of turtles that they come through small and they grow bigger. But I think basically what I'm going to have to do, and I'm just trying to find time to do it because it takes a lot where I've got to propagate it all afterwards. But basically I need to chop like all of that off, propagate it and get some roots growing and stuff, and then kind of figure out what's going on up here as to whether I pot that back in there or whether I just start a new pot with it really. I might film my progress with that, and then if I figure out actually how to fix it and what's happened, then maybe I'll do a video on it. But yeah, I think that's probably a plan with that one. And then I'm gonna briefly, oh sorry, my bunny rabbit came to say hello then. Stitch, hello. Hello, darling. Good boy. He got scared and ran away again. This is kind of my like greenhouse cabinet section, I guess. I haven't done a whole lot with it yet. I've got some, let me get it open. So I've got some lights up the top here. Sorry, it might sound a little bit more echoey when I go in here. So I've got these two grow lights in here, which are on a timer. At the moment, the cable just comes out and goes up here because I already had this up and with the TV on it, which I know I should have done this all beforehand. But basically what we're going to do is at some point we are going to drill a hole at the back of this so the cable goes up and through. And I was hoping to have it done and to do a lot with this, and unfortunately it just hasn't happened. So, but hey, I can show you where we're at the moment. So we currently have this beautiful variegated Waitii in here, who's doing really well. As you can see, it's got loads of new growth at the top here. String of hearts. This is my variegated string of hearts. And this guy got completely eaten by my rabbits. This was my one, if you've seen my videos before, you'll know I had one in the on my hexagon shelves that basically went all the way down and was beautiful. And it got eaten, the whole thing, by the rabbits, so that's fantastic. But basically, it still had all these bulbs at the bottom here, if you can see those. So yeah, so I just kept watering it and kept it in good light situation, and guess what? It's growing back, and it's looking lush. They look really cool. It's got like some really diddy ones as well, as you can see in the background there. There's some beautiful little variegation on it. But yeah, it just looks really pretty. I'm actually quite happy with how that's growing, considering it was basically completely dead. So that's cool. This here is just some, can't remember what they are now. Some sort of wet stick cuttings from something that I'm trying to get to grow. And then this beautiful Hoya, actually quite in love with. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I did mention it in another video, so yeah, you'll be able to find it somewhere. But it's absolutely stunning, and I just love the colours on it. And it's had a really good water now, and it seems to be enjoying the grow light because it's got a little bit of growth coming through there. But yeah, just really cute. And then basically what I've got down the bottom here is just a bunch of variegated plants that I feel just need a little bit more light due to the current condition. Here, so this is one that I took a little while ago. Unfortunately, all of the new growth that's coming through on this is completely white, which kind of sucks. So I'm kind of just leaving that to see how it gets on. These are my recent Syngonium. Can I see through the glass up here? Yeah, my recent Syngonium cuttings that have actually, if I get them out, started to get a few good little roots growing on them there. This is doing much better over here. So a video a little while ago, I was explaining how it's not doing too great, but that it still had growth coming through. So I've still got new growth coming through there, which is fab. And someone said to me about moving it further away from the light. Now I appreciate I've now put it under another grow light. However, over here on here, I think it was on this shelf here, and this grow light is like excessive in comparison. So I think it just needed to be a little bit further away. Maybe after the winter period's up, I might just move it onto like a normal shelf or something and see how it gets on. But yeah, that's kind of my grow light situation. I think we'll just pop upstairs so I can just, I think that's like 1 or 2 plants I just want to show you up there that are kind of not doing great / yeah, just have a little bit of a chat about. So if we just head upstairs, I will show you now. So I do apologise, I've got a few messy bits around at the moment, but this is basically the plant I wanted to talk to you about. So this is it's listed as like a philodendron cobra on the label, but I think it's actually a monstera. Oh, I can't remember the name of it, how annoying. If I think of the name of it, I'll pop it up on the screen for you. But yeah, anyway, so I might think of it in a minute. But yeah, so basically it's got few little bits of variegation going. Some of them that are variegated have obviously kind of died a bit. Where are we? This one here's got a nice little bit here. And it's got some beautiful growth coming up the top here. However, it really wasn't doing great, and as you can tell, it's lost like all of the leaves that were down here. Now this plant cost me quite a bit as well, so I'm absolutely devastated by that. However, I do think it's a lot happier here now. So I've got this grow light here, which is kind of a three stemmed thing, which I use for my ones here, and I've just brought one of them up a little bit so it can hit the top of this. Now the situation was, it was over here, stood on top here, and I just don't think it was getting enough light, and it really didn't enjoy it at all. So I think that was the issue. So I'm hoping that over here, as well as that there, also gets more direct light from kind of the outside there as well. So I think that does help. I think at the moment I've got this set to be on for 6 hours a day, my grow light. I may look at upping that. I've just got to turn it on at the right time of day to actually get like, it's a bit of a weird grow light. It kind of goes from 6 hours to 12, which is really annoying. So really I could do with like an 8-hour one. My purple one over here has an 8-hour setting on it, so that's really cool. But yeah, I think everything else up here is just kind of doing okay. It's kind of just surviving, really. My string of pearls, I guess let's just finish on ones that are actually doing really well. So my string of pearls over here is always doing well. I love it. Once again for these, like really good light situation, and they will thrive. This probably needs a trim up, to be honest, and I need to like repot, so I just get some really nice like stuff going on. As you can see, it's getting quite sort of chunky around these bits. Same here. So yeah, I kind of just need to get some more potted in there really, but I would really love this guy to like sit on a little shelf or something, but it's not really ideal because it does need a lot of light, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. These over here are doing great. As you can see, my pothos is trailing beautifully and making a lovely display over there. Yeah, I guess the other plant that I can say something about is my, so I did a video on this guy recently where I took these cuttings that I just showed you downstairs, and I repotted in this one here. This already had that, by the way, that's not new. And these two little bits that are growing off there as well. So I have put a new growth point in there. So I'm hoping that soon, yeah, I can feel a little bit, sorry, camera went awry. I can feel a little bit of a bump there. So that should get a new growth soon. And I actually noticed yesterday as well that where I cut them back, I cut it here. As you can see that bit there. And I've actually got a new growth point coming through just there, so that's fantastic. And the top of it's actually very pink, so I'm quite intrigued to see how that's going to come out. I'm hoping it's not going to be completely white, because that was kind of the point of me cutting it back in the first place. However, if it is, I will just have to take one more cutting. And yeah, I think if I take one more cutting, it would be like to cut that one off basically and just be above this one, and that variegation is much better and much more manageable. You can see sort of the variegation running through the veins. I mean, I know I shouldn't complain about variegation, and I know the variegation is beautiful, but I just can't keep getting like all white variegation, because they just die. Like every single plant I've had on here that has been completely white has died. So yeah, that's basically the situation. So that guy is chilling up here in the window, he's quite happy. So I think that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed me going around and going through some planty updates for you. I hope you're not bored of the sound of my voice too much. I know there's a lot of talking, and I certainly need a drink now. So I'm going to go and do that. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.